Hello YouTube. Today I'd like to show you my silver coin. It's from the Spanish-Philippines period, 1881, 50 centavos, minted in Manila, Philippines during the Spanish colonial times. So here's the reverse, the Spanish coat of arms, and then the denomination 50 centavos de peso at the bottom. And then you have here Alfonso XII, the reigning king of Spain back in 1881. Now, I'd like to share with you some history because I just researched and found out 1881 was a pivotal year in the Philippines. First, I'd like to share is on 1881, there was a Haiphong Typhoon which devastated the Philippines. It was really, the destruction was immense, and it also affected countries like the northern Vietnam and also southern China and all the way to Japan. Unfortunately, Philippines was the first country to be hit by this Haiphong typhoon of 1881. That's just one of the calamities where Filipinos are very familiar, and it was a gigantic typhoon that has been recorded um, back then. Now, the more important historical news I'd like to share with you was in 1881, a royal decree made by King Alfonso XII, the one here featured on this coin. He abolished the tobacco monopoly in the Philippines. Now, what's the big deal with the tobacco monopoly? Okay, tobacco monopoly started from 1780 and was um, canceled or terminated in 1881. That's 100 years of forced labor because the tobacco was a major export of the Philippines, but the farmers were not paid. In fact, there was a system called encomienda system. It's like a feudal master and slave type where the encomiendo, which is the Spanish people, the Spanish friars, the Spanish generals, all these Spanish um, who colonized the Philippines, were taking advantage of local Filipinos, making them plant tobacco and then paying them very, very poorly. And this was 100 years of suffering for the Filipinos. And at this point in time, you could see the Filipinos were slowly revolting against the encomienda system by the tobacco monopoly, the Spanish abuses, and there were already Filipinos urging to stop the tobacco monopoly, basically to stop eventually the encomienda system. So 1881, this king, Alfonso XII, made a decree to stop tobacco monopoly, and it was implemented the year later in 1882. So the abuse of the Spanish colony was very felt during the time of this coin, and sometimes I don't know if it's upsetting for me being a Filipino to know these my fellow Filipinos had to suffer during back then, and when the colonials were in the Philippines, the Spanish colonizers were in the Philippines. And this is just one proof of back in the day in 1881 when a change was made by Alfonso XII. Alfonso XII was a very liked, in fact, loved king of Spain and in the Spanish colonies. He was a progressive king. He was a liberal king. He was a peacemaker, and he was one of the better kings, Spanish colonial kings for the Filipinos. Unfortunately, he would die in 1885, and then the next rulers were Iron Fist. And to make the long story short, the Philippines revolted and tried to get independence in 1897 onwards. I hope you enjoyed my news or past news, sharing with you history of the Philippines. This is a coin from that period when the Spanish were abusing the Philippines. I hope I've shared some emotionally charged historical context, and quite frankly, I am so proud that the Philippines is finally independent. And well, we do share the history with Spain, but those were very dark times, in my opinion, for the Philippines. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Pardon if I was kind of emotional and kind of upset at the same time of these abuses done to us, Filipinos. Okay, so this coin is a good historical memorabilia of those very dark times. And yeah, I got this in eBay. This is a coin that you could buy for about $20-$30 in eBay. This is not a rare coin, but it's a coin from a very colorful past. Okay, guys, thank you. Till my next video. Bye.